Today we're going to talk about Tombow pens, some Posca pens, and this page. So, as you may or may not know, I have some construction going on at my house. So part of my dilemma is being able, that's why I didn't go live yesterday, is being able to make these lives even though there's construction going on, right? So yesterday there was a lot of noise and I didn't really have any place else to go. So I started doing this. And this is actually a journal page. I started doing this side. And this comes from a design on a pocketbook that I have. And I really loved all these little designs. Now, they didn't come out perfectly, but I thought I would work on it and finish it today a little bit. And then we could just kind of journal chat. How's that? Oh, hi, Estella. So I have my Tombows because I like them because they're water soluble and they do have which I didn't bring, a blending brush as part of this set sometimes when you get these. Or maybe any set you get, they're in there. And I copied these designs off of this purse that I have because I really liked the variety and how it looked in it. And I wanted to use these as jumping off points for future art of some sort. Okay, so I do have my iPad running so I can see your comments and questions. So if you have any questions or anything, you can leave them and I'll be sure to answer them. But I wanted to finish this page up while we just kind of did a little, what should we call it, marker in chat. I'm going to call it that. It's really a paint in chat, right? So I love these Tombows because there's so much variety. There's so much you can do with them. And I decided that I could also use some of my other designs here. So again, I'm just copying this purse that I like the designs on it. And I wanted to use those designs as jumping off points for future designs that I might be thinking about making or whatever. So you're going to be mad at me probably because I did not bring the purse and I did not bring my blending pen, which some of these I use the blending pen on. But this just is such an inspiration to me. So where was I going to do this? Maybe here. So this one's dry because I did this yesterday. Let me shake these up. So this one's dry because I did it yesterday. And I just want to have a scrap piece of paper so I can make sure that I have a good paint pen here. So I'm going to, so I don't know if these reactivate, meaning the Tombows. I thought that they were only, once dried, that they were permanent, but I can't be sure. So this is what I figured I would do today, is work on this. So I hope that you guys all had a great weekend, of course. And I'm just going to embellish as I go. So I wanted to add some markings to this with my paint pens, but I want it to dry a little bit more, so I'm not going to start right away. This is a Posca Fine. So this is a 1 MR or a 0.7 millimeter. And I wanted to do a little outlining on some of these. And if I get quiet, I apologize because this is very zen to me, very zen. And I really enjoy doing this kind of thing. I don't even know what these designs were, but I thought they were so cool that I was just like, okay. So I do think that the Tombos, if you can see here, it's kind of absorbed some of the green. So I do think, now I've heard a couple artists say that you have to go over it twice or 3 times with your Posca pens, especially if you're using something light over something dark to make it really stand out. So we might go over those again after it dries a little bit. So I was super excited. So yesterday when it was really super noisy here, I wanted to do some art, and I used this little tiny journal I've shown you before, this one. And this was a gift, I've told you. I was super excited to start filling it in. And mostly because as I flipped through, I was like, oh, I love that this is starting to fill up. And I love journals when they have things in them. It doesn't matter whether I like them or hate them. It doesn't matter at all. So the background of this purse that I have that has this sort of design on it is black. So I thought about coloring the whole thing black, but I'm going to try just outlining things and seeing where that takes me, seeing if I like it better. Some of these are better, I think, more defined. But we can get inspiration for our art from all kinds of places. Like I have a park near me, and sometimes I go walk, and even the bark on trees, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but bark comes in all different, just like people, all different sizes and shapes, all different designs. It's kind of intriguing, mesmerizing. I love watching the trees anyway. Like that's kind of my favorite thing. But at the park, I noticed all of this different type of bark. So I'll take pictures and share it with you at some point. I don't know if I wanted to do that, but I did it now, so. So we'll go with it. So these are, again, just things that maybe later on I would make some kind of art with some of this. But my inspiration comes from many different things, and we can find inspiration in so many things. And shapes are some of the shapes and colors are some of the best inspiration for me, right? The best, I just like get so inspired sometimes by some of these things. I don't know. Do you guys have things that inspire you? Let me know in the comments. What are your inspirations? What starts you making art? What kinds of things you like to make or do? I love these Tombow pens because I love how bright they can be. I don't know, can you see any of my Tombows here? So there's so many great colors. And yes, you can get lost in buying Tombows, I suppose, but you don't need to. I mean, they make a basic pack that has brights or vivid colors in it that are kind of nice. I get overwhelmed when I go into the art store and I see all these choices. I don't know. Do you guys suffer from that where you look at all the colors and you're like, what color do I want? What color do I need? What color should I use? So I try to keep a visual, photographic spot in my photos, right? So I make swatches and I write the numbers down that I have or the colors, whatever they are. And I take a picture, a photograph of them so that I know, or if there's things that I want, I write down the colors so I know, okay, the next time I go to the art store or there's a sale and I want to get something, these are the things that I'm particularly looking for. And that helps me stay organized and not end up with like 3 of the same color of something, because I've done that before too. And if it's a color I love, sure, I'll go through it. But, you know, sometimes it's more fun to have different colors in your stash and your choice. So now there's something like, I don't even know how many of these colors, right, of these Tombow colors. There's a lot of them. And some of them are very, very close in color. Like, you know, if you swatch these, I didn't bring my swatches with me, but if you swatched these three colors on the page, they're not the caps, but if once you swatch them, they're very close in color. So do you need to have each one of these colors? Maybe not, you know, but maybe you do. Maybe you want it. So the fun part about the Tombows is they blend together, and with that blending pen, you can make them soft blended, and that's kind of a nice thing, I would say. So for instance, this one's blended. You can see there's a bunch of colors in there. Or this yellow was blended with a little bit of orange to give it some texture. So that's how I do it. So my inspirations, when I find a pattern I like, I take a picture of it, or I sit right down and sketch it out so I have it for a later date, maybe in my journal or wherever. Oh, let's do this. So now I feel like I want to be really careful with black. You can see what happened here, right? I'm not going to worry about those things. And this purple over the green created this sort of it looks more brown than anything. And at first I was like, meh. And then I did green and red next to each other and they bled together. So it came out muddy and black. But if I really didn't like it, I could take my Posca pen here, and I could go over this a little bit. Oh, maybe not with this color. Maybe I'd want a brighter color than this olive. This is an olive color. But you could go over it with a paint pen, and it would give you another layer of color here. Let me finish doing what I'm doing. So this design, this inspiration, could lead to other designs in my journal. And I don't know about you, I'm still a child at heart, and I really love playing with markers sometimes. I mean, sometimes that just feels like the best thing, markers on paper. And this is a watercolor paper, so it didn't happen to bleed through. Well, I have a design on this side, so it definitely didn't bleed through, but it didn't bleed through this side either. This became the blending pen that I had. I kept wiping it off on here, and that's what this became. So that's all from the blending pen. So it picks up some of the colors, and then it looks very watercolory, and I'll just put something over top of that. I'll just do who knows what, but someday I'll make something with it. Okay, can I hold the Tombow pen close to the camera? Which one did you want, Estella? I'm not sure. But this is the dual brush Tombow pen. So it's got a soft tip like this, and then a nib tip like this. I'm hoping that it shows up. So that's what that looks like. So I'm just going to do this maybe on this. So I'll just show you what hopefully the camera will focus, what the pen mark. So the brush tip is very flexible, and then you can make very fine with it. And the nib tip is a more fine mark like this. If you're interested in a particular color, let me know and I'll tell you what colors they were. So Okay, and then this is the Posca pen that I'm using. So it's Uni Posca and it's just those 0.7 millimeters. They call it PC1MR. So that's what I'm outlining with here. So thank you for asking, Estella. Too close. Okay, hang on. Hang on, let's see. Let's see if I can get it in there. This is another one. I'm watching myself on my iPad, so I'm waiting for this to show up on there. Let me see if I can get it to focus. I don't think it's focusing. There you go. I think that did it. We'll see. But if you need to know something, just ask, and I'll be happy to share with you what I have going on here. There you go. So it did show up on there. I think I'm thinking that this isn't dry enough and these dots are going to show up blue, but we're going to try it here. So what happened over here was these showed up green, right? But I've heard another artist say that she goes over them 2 or 3 times to get the color to not be translucent. So that's what we're going to try. Okay, so we were talking about where design inspiration comes from. And who knows what the inspiration is. So sometimes it's flowers and trees budding. So I've always been a lover of trees. So the bark is one thing, the leaves are another, the shape is another. The branches are something, you know, there's a million things that could possibly be inspiration for all of this. So I was going to try to take this and find a Posca pen that I have over here. Oh, maybe this one. Because I want this to be more purple. In my image that I copied it from, that was way more purple. So I think if I color it with the paint pen over top, it will come out more purple and less brown, which is what I'm looking for. So yesterday, when I was listening to all the banging in my house, this became my escape, doing this page, and it was really fun. And I love that I have all these ideas as things I can do for art later. So the paint pens become less muddy than the Tombos are sheer or translucent or whatever, opaque, not opaque, I guess is the word. And that's what I was looking for. So I was looking for solid purple in here, and when I went over it with the purple, it became, over the green with the purple, it became that muddied brown color. So that looks a little more purple to me, so I like it a little bit more. I'm going to try to do a green with a Tombow. I mean with a Posca, because I wanted that to be more green there. So I see LB said, what should I draw? There's so many good things. So your inspiration can come from so many places. So look around your house. Look out in nature. Go for a nature walk. Pick things up that you find as you're walking. That could become an inspiration. So this is perfect because this really picked up the green now, and it doesn't look as muddy to me. It looks more vibrant, and that's what I was going for when I did these designs. So, I mean, you can repeat these patterns over and over and over again, or not, or whatever. I want to do more here. So I'm going to take this. So again, the background, where I got this from, the background was black, and this stuff pops. These colors would pop right off black. But I don't really want to paint around it. So I'm not sure that I'm going to do that. But that's why I outlined in black, because I thought it would really make this look good. So I'm going to do this and this here. And I loved that. Now these white ones are going to be hardly noticeable in this really light blue, but that's okay. I feel like I want to make this a little more vibrant too, so I'm going to take one of my pink pens, the pink Poscas, and I'm just going to go around this a little bit. Okay, so this might be a place where I leave this today. But these are inspirations for later, for when I'm really looking for something. I'm sorry, I was reading Estella's, who said she has some Tombos, but they're alcohol-based. These are water-based. And again, they're dual tip. It says Tombow ABT, whatever that means. I'm not really sure, Estella. But they're dual tip brush pens. And they have the brush pen down on one end and the bullet nib on the other end. I hardly ever play with that bullet nib though. So, but they are water-based, and if you touch them with water, they're going to run. So I can't lie. I think once they dry on your paper, though, they're permanent. And they do, if you buy a package, like a set of them, so they come in sets of 8. So I think those, they come in smaller, like 5-2, TOO. If you buy the set of 8, I know they come with that blender brush. And that's kind of a nice thing to have. I never thought I really cared about it, but now that I've started playing with it, I really like it. So again, though, this is just one inspiration, but look around you. You can find inspiration in almost anything. Look through a magazine and find pattern paper, or there's just so much you can do. So these will become things that I can think to make later on when I want to do another design or another page. You know, these are all designs I could use. Sometimes I run out of ideas, or I feel stuck and I don't come up with anything. So this is why I do pages like this. Again, you could do flowers. I mean, there's just so many things. You could do splotches. You could do just shapes. There's so much. So this was just an inspiration page. That's all it was. This isn't about necessarily having this perfect piece of art or anything like that. So I hope you guys will play like this and try it, and I hope that you'll have fun with it and enjoy it. Okay, I will most likely see you tomorrow for another day of art, or another partial day of art with some more ideas. I hope that you guys have a good day, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for being here, everybody.